Afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Armchair Sports Talk for the weekly Steelchair. Yes, we are diving straight in. Didn't even get to say hello to Eilidh backstage. We came straight in because we're going to do the hellos right here. But welcome to
the
your
cold open. The cold
Absolutely.
open is what you've decided that we're going to do. I'll be honest, the intro did sort of jump scare me a little bit, but we're here. We're here on this pleasant Saturday. Obviously, we're going through an absolute cracking spell of weather at the moment, and yet we will be inside, hiding away from that lovely weather, and instead bringing you coverage of not one but two blockbuster pay-per-view events, or at least the reviews. We can't tell you what's happening yet. The crystal ball is not in motion. Once again, taking to hiding my face, but I've got a nice on-theme avatar here. It's all right. I think the viewers prefer it this way. If I'm honest, Reece, maybe you should take a note on that one as well.
No, they've got to suffer my face. I don't care.
How you doing anyway, pal? You good?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a good week. A week today, obviously, I'll be in London, so I'm looking forward to it. Week yesterday, I should say, because obviously I'll be at SmackDown, I'll be at Money in the Bank, and then obviously I'll be back down for All In next month. But no, I'm good. I'm all happy for this show. I'm looking forward to it. We've got Collision to talk about as well, the debut show. Just want to get your thoughts on that as well, because obviously we haven't actually spoken about it, to be fair.
Well,
So
kind of did. We touched upon it for. Yeah, we touched upon it for the people of the the people that watched the quiz special on Sunday. We quickly touched upon Collision. But I actually do want to start with one thing about AEW and listeners with good memories, strong memories, will remember what I said to you last week or 2 weeks ago. We were talking about Forbidden Door and the fact there were only 4 matches. You said, I think it's going to be, so you said, this is verbatim, I think it's going to be a 7-match card.
That's what I was hoping for. I did say that. I'm hoping it's this. And
I said to you verbatim, it's going to be 9 at least.
Yeah, which to be fair isn't a bad thing to call. It's just not a bad thing to call.
It's now 11.
Oh, it's 10.
Well, the finalised card has 11 matches, 10 on the main card and 1 on the pre-show. The one on the pre-show is Athena against some 18-year-old, I think.
It's Athena versus Billy Starks in the Owen Hart Cup tournament.
Yeah, to be fair, it's an Owen Hart tournament match.
Which is completely fine. But to be fair, I would have made one other change to that. I would have put, even though it was a late addition from Rampage, even though I like Adam Cole and I do like Tom Lawler, I either wouldn't have had this match on the show or I would have this on the pay-per-view. I would on the pay-per-view main card. I would have had this also on the pre-show. I would have had 2 matches on the pre-show because frankly,
they can't put Adam Cole on the pre-show though because he's well, I mean, to be fair, I suppose they've maybe gone back on the plan to have MJF and Adam Cole be the match for All In.
I think it's still potentially going to be there, but the only reason that
I mean they've done it, you know.
True, non-title though, but they've done that eliminator thing, but it ended in a draw. So I think they'll still revisit it, but obviously because it's a cross promotion, I think that's why they're not going to have.
Yeah, no. So maybe they will because of the draw. I don't know. They're in a weird spot. AEW is in a weird spot, but it's
been good race segments for them, to be fair, recently. Adam Cole and MJF segments have actually been one of their highest rated segments at the moment. So
the segments where they go out there and they pull back every curtain. It's the stuff that AEW fans want to see. I don't. I like when things are kept in the context of the world that they're in. I think it would be like watching a Marvel movie and having one of the heroes sort of wink at the camera and go, "I know you're watching." At the same time, I suppose the MCU isn't far off actually doing that, but that's a different conversation entirely.
It's a good comparison to make, to be fair. It's a good one
Yeah,
to make.
I prefer when things just contain themselves within their own universe. Or
Mhm.
and again,
Of course.
WWE they have their own like sort of
Spiel.
jabs at each other, but they're not that overt. I mean, MJF and Adam Cole just pulled back everything. It was
Mhm.
like the two guys were just talking to each other, trying to pop the crowd, and yeah, I see the appeal behind that. What I see the appeal behind more
Mhm.
is obviously you've got the MJF Tanahashi match.
I
That's
have
going to
the
be
full.
good.
I have the full card for you. We already know Athena's going to be on the pre-show with Billy
Yeah,
Stark, so we don't
yeah.
need
So
that.
while MJF and Adam Cole isn't really appealing to me, at least I suppose the lack of a feud is what's actually helping MJF and Tanahashi feel intriguing.
True, and it's back to back Forbidden Doors for Tanahashi as well for AEW World Title matches because he had it last year as well and he was unsuccessful. Remember, he was unsuccessful last year.
Yes, he
I
failed
expect maybe,
to defeat John Moxley.
which obviously is by design. You're not going to put your world title on someone who isn't even in your promotion, but it's good to at least have that crossover match. Like that's not a problem. Like
Yeah,
even though if
not
the
been
title's still on
following
the line,
entirely closely. Did Tanahashi earn this shot, or did New Japan just say it's going to be him?
he challenged MJF himself. He just came out and
Right.
challenged him.
Okay. Okay. And I
Hmm.
don't know, having some kind of match to earn it. I mean, if he's going to be over in America, they could have done it on New Japan Strong.
They could have done. Hmm.
Like just have some kind of context. That's my main problem with this card is so MJF and Tanahashi it helps, but the rest of this card has just been sort of thrown up overnight. As
Some
in Tony
definitely are.
Khan had a bit of indigestion and threw up, and here's what comes out. Um,
Some of them definitely does have like stories in between. So Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite, that is definitely a mainstay that's been going on for a few months, so we know that. Danielson versus Okada, they've wanted this match for years. We're getting that match live in living color, which is great. Omega versus Osprey, we already know has happened in the Tokyo Dome. We're now getting the rematch. We might get a trilogy depending on what happens. Um,
I would imagine they're going to go trilogy.
I would expect it to be, yeah. Um, Jericho and Guevara with Suzuki, obviously that's been recent work, but obviously they did challenge Sting and Darby Allin. We'll find out the tag team partner tonight on Collision.
I'm
Sonata versus.
fairly certain I
Mhm.
know who they want it to be.
Wouldn't surprise me based on what is around, based on the actual promo itself
Yeah,
that
based
was
on the
made.
buzz
Hmm.
and a certain face that's been gone from WWE for a bit.
Yeah,
It could, in fact, very well be that Chris Jericho is next.
yeah. It's
But
certainly.
yeah,
I'm hoping it's not him. But the one thing is, though, and this is the annoying thing is, yeah, even though he is an absolute goon and he's finished, he still has some sort of aura and appeal around him. He will actually get numbers. I don't want
yeah,
it to
of
be him.
course.
I don't want it to be him. But from a rating sense, it's not a bad decision to make. If it is Goldberg, Sting, and Darby Allin, it won't be a long match. It won't be because Goldberg doesn't do that
Well, at
unless
the same time, as a six man, the time doesn't really matter. You can stand on the apron as long as
and he can just come in and hit two moves and then that's it. A spear and a jackhammer and then that's it. He's walked off.
exactly. You could just so the pops are the entrance, the spear, and the jackhammer. They will wait 15 minutes at least before they give them it.
Hmm. It hasn't
Darby
been.
Allin with a bit of selling, and then of course you got Sting and Chris Jericho. You need to have a proper exchange. That's what this match has been built off of.
I look forward to that.
Um,
I do look
I
forward
don't.
to
Do
that
you, do you feel
exchange.
like the Goldberg thing might be distracting from the fact that Jericho and Sting is supposed to be the big thing?
I think it is a little bit of a distraction. Yeah, that's why I'm hoping it's Shingo, or if it might be Tatsuya Naito, but he's at a Mexican show on Monday. I don't, even though it's only 5 hours apart, I don't know if it will be. I think he'll
It's
be
just
fully
a flick
focused.
across 2 borders. He'd be all right.
He could do it. I don't know if he will, but I would rather be someone like that or Shingo, where it makes sense. Dudes with attitude reunion, that would be great. But if it
Nice
is,
callback to last week's quiz.
but if it is Goldberg, even though I do think he's finished, I'm not necessarily going to argue against it because it does
No,
give you
there are
intrigue.
far more glaring issues on this card than Goldberg showing up. And right,
What's up, bud?
okay, I am prepared to give Orange Cassidy a chance.
You have to at
On
least
the
give.
basis that you tell me he's no longer doing the things that made me absolutely despise him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they want to make it as impossible for me to give him this chance by putting a charisma vacuum and a guy that, if I'm completely honest, I could have done without seeing again
Go on.
in Shibata, and it's unfortunate,
Why?
but it's the same way that I was bittersweet about Danielson, like returning in a way, returning in the idea of what he did. Because but Shibata almost died in the ring,
That's true. His head,
and
yeah, that's true.
every time that he's in the ring, that's what I see. And he
Yeah.
takes these heavy moves to his head, and you're like, guys, you are not invincible.
That was what I said. Remember what we said about Danielson when he went to AEW? I was like, the one thing I hope I don't see happening is I hope he does not do that diving headbutt. Because that
And
worries me.
it's much worse. He's actually like actively headbutting people without the dive, like because the diving headbutt is a one-off. Okay, other than it being proven to cause so many problems for the head.
Yep.
Doing it as the one-off and with enough tricks of the camera, you can actually hit it without hitting it.
You could.
But at the same time, you're falling on your head. It's silly.
I'd rather he done like an elbow drop or
Yeah, but
a
it's like
frog
when he does
splash.
these strike exchanges, and I hope there isn't one between him and Okada.
There will be.
The strike exchanges are fine, like chop and things, kicks, that's fine. Don't do a headbutt exchange. I don't need to see you. And I don't
Yeah.
need to see Shibata using his head in that way either. But to be honest, I don't need to see Shibata in this match. I don't need to see Daniel Garcia at all. I think if Daniel Garcia was on NXT, he would be lower mid card.
I think he has got one thing right from though is the one thing that Daniel Garcia does do, and this is because obviously he's not doing as much with Jericho at the moment. He's being more of himself, like through Ring of Honor and AEW. He's going after Zack Sabre. Obviously, Zack Sabre's the New Japan TV champion. He's got his eyes on Joe, because obviously he wants the Ring of Honor World TV title. Joe's the third. Joe's only 25 days away from the third longest reign, and he's only held the title once.
Yeah, but what's it meant?
Well, it's been good for him because he's actually been able to elevate that division. He's got a lot of people working on the TV scene as well, so I have to give him credit.
Has he had many matches for it?
Oh yeah, he's had
This is the problem. Ring of Honor is so down the fridge, it may as well be called Impact at this point.
Impact is seriously good. Stop giving it hate.
But it's down the fridge.
It's not.
Right? It's down the back of the fridge. No one actually cares, right?
I disagree on that.
If people cared, like to any sort of extent, the top story when it happened would have been Alex Shelley winning the world title. But no one cared. To some people listening right now, that's news. Other people might say, who's Alex Shelley?
And if anyone said that, they don't understand wrestling. They just don't.
Easy. I have struck a nerve. So anyway, we're going to do what we usually do. We're going to run through the matches, little predictions, ultimately decide who's going to win.
It will not be John Morrison or Johnny TV. He's only just debuted in the company. It will not be him, and it will not be Ryback, because Ryback can't wrestle. Ryback can't wrestle for shit. Goldberg is the only option. If not, it'll be a Japanese talent.
Tony Khan, I could.
He is literally.
There are many things I could see him doing, but I think even Tony Khan knows Ryback is full of crap.
He will not take Ryback.
I think there's enough people, right or wrong, I think there's enough people in Tony Khan's ear that enough of them will tell him, do not bring Ryback in, because you will get a pop that first time, and the problem is, where does the second pop come from? Well, it gets a pop because it's a face people vaguely recognise, and it would get a meme pop the same way that Christian showed up in AEW. I wouldn't say he got a massive pop because he was a massive get. I feel like that first pop was sort of people popping themselves, like they built this up, and it's been Christian.
But yet now Christian Cage is one of the hottest things in wrestling. Like, because of what he's done as a heel, like nobody thought he would go to such a limit. Like, the guy's crazy.
Yeah,
he does it in
he definitely should have won the TNT title.
I do agree.
Just a bit of a waste on Luchasaurus compared to what you could have with Christian. Anyway, so we're going to run through these matches. I suppose we should go bottom to top.
Yeah, it is funny though. You can't deny it. It is funny though. Like Jungle Boy Jack Perry actually tweeted out saying, "Congratulations to Luchasaurus for winning the title before me."
Yeah,
it's actually quite funny. I will say this as well, and this helped last night. The crowd actually physically booed him on Rampage last night, and he worked heel in Canada, Jungle Boy. I think they're leaning into it now, that he is going to turn heel, and I think we are going to get. I think it will involve Hook, as we mentioned
what
last
sort of
Saturday.
Booing was it, though? Was it booing like, we disagree with what you've done on the screen, or was it that sort of booing like, go away heat?
Disagreement from what he was doing to Dookie in the match. Pure on disagreement.
To who, sorry?
Dookie. He's a Japanese talent.
I have heard that name.
Yeah.
I was like,
quality.
He's been around. He
has been around for a while. Yeah, he was on Rampage. He was up against Jungle Boy. I'm actually looking forward to one match on Collision tonight. I think it's going to be really good. Swerve Strickland versus Tanahashi on Collision.
That should be good. I mean, again, the way that they build some of these matches, AEW's got a lot more of a problem than WWE with the quote obvious winner problem.
True.
I feel like AEW, like a lot of these matches tonight, guys, I don't think you're going to get much of a, and it could be that we're just wrong. It could be that we're just idiots, but I don't think there's going to be too much disagreement on this card. So, for instance, start match 11, Adam Cole versus Tom Lawler.
Yeah,
it's Adam Cole, isn't it? Like, there's no
unless MJF gets involved, because obviously MJF did bring him in. Unless MJF distracts him for Lawler to get the win, I don't expect anything else but Adam Cole winning.
Would they involve MJF twice?
I mean,
if he's got his own match, would he?
Does what he wants.
I know, but would he? And then wouldn't someone be there to ward him off for Adam Cole's sake, like Sabu? His best mate Sabu.
He was one time. I don't think that'll happen again. I'll tell you one thing is like, I think if MJF did appear during this match, it kind of defeats the purpose of him and Tanahashi. Because obviously he's been saying for a while,
because he's like,
for a while, he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't give a crap. He's been mugging them off. You know, Tanahashi is a legend. MJF knows this, but he's playing it really well to the crowd. He knows what he's doing.
It would be like Roman Reigns attacking Seth Rollins when he goes up against Finn Balor.
It would be.
Like, the whole thing about Roman is you wait to see him.
Yeah, you want to know if you want to know purely if he's there, and that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Like you want that. It's the idea. I mean, we've experienced it live at Clash. We all knew Roman Reigns was on that card. but just the energy of actually seeing him enter with every bell and every whistle possible.
I do have the collision card for afterwards as well when we discuss collision. I do have the card actually. I'll get your
Punk
thoughts on
match
it.
will be good tonight on collision. Well, Punk's usually a pretty handy performer. We can't
similar
say much of
match
his
to last
wrestling
week. It's a
acumen.
similar match to last week. It's a similar match. There's just a couple of additions. That's all it is really. But I think it'll actually be quite good. I think.
So are we saying Adam Cole?
Adam Cole. Do you want to take? Do you want me to write down the predictions for this one? Because obviously this is tomorrow.
You may as well track them, and then in 2 weeks' time we'll see how we did.
Pretty much. Aye. Give me 2 seconds. Unless we do it on the Sunday after I've done Money in the Bank.
Well, that's the thing, people. As it stands, we've got no show next week. But if you're thinking, oh no Steelchair content, and you missed the quiz video, you can go and watch that. You can watch that after you've watched this one. Isn't that great? It was almost 2 hours, hosted by myself. Reece, obviously, as brainless as ever, but we all had a really good time. So Reece grabbing the paper. Wait, really? Paper? Oh, do you frame these after? Do you use them? I don't want to know what you use them as, actually.
To be fair, I have so many notepads for so many things, so I'm just getting like a blank one that's easier.
You'd think as a shooter I'd have a bunch of notepads. I don't use paper. I've just got
so many. I like to be so prepared because my bedroom is practically my office anyway when I'm working from home, so it's basically set up like an office. So I'm just splitting up. So Forbidden Door, obviously we're doing first, and then we'll do Money. Internet is cutting a little bit. There we go. The show is split over 2 pay-per-views today. We are doing because obviously we won't be live
we'll
next
be out
Saturday.
of Forbidden Door in about 20 minutes, and then the Money in the Bank's obviously a smaller card. We're well on track, people. Do not worry. We are professionals at this point.
We are. So,
and speaking of professionals, this would have been a better segue for match 9 because there's a real lack of them. But instead, we're going on to match 10, where we have
Adam Page is on. Adam Page
is in the mess of a 10-man tag team match.
I like the additions, by the way. The fact that Tomohiro Ishii is actually the final man in the team, it completely caught me off guard. I was hoping that it would be. Kota Ibushi, but I actually like the shock of Tomohiro Ishii.
Tells me they either won't be able to get Ibushi,
I think it will be a later time. Yeah,
but a later time. What?
I think
it has to end at some point. I'm saying telling this story forever.
No, I mean is I still expect that Don Callis to be proven right in the end anyway. So I expect Don Callis to still be proven right in the sense that Omega will still leave the Elite. Like he'll leave after because obviously he's still by storyline. He does not know that the Elite helped Hangman beat him for the world title. They've been doing that for so long. Obviously, Don Callis got turned on Omega not too long ago. But when you look in that sense, once he does that, I expect Kota Ibushi to side with Omega against the Elite,
so
and then that'll be it.
The whole story they've been telling this entire time is that Kenny Omega doesn't know that the Bucks gave a nod of approval for Hangman to beat him.
Yep.
Okay, because Kenny Omega doesn't own anything he could rewind and just watch the footage back. It's been 2 years, is it not?
Well, he has been trying to hint on it. You know what I mean? Like Callis was trying to hint on it the whole time. It has been quite a while. Yeah, it has been quite a while.
Yeah, I think 2 years. It was Full Gear.
Full Gear 2021.
Was it 2021?
Yeah, because remember,
because Brawlout was last year.
Yep, and that's when he lost.
Obviously, Hangman would have to be champion to lose to Punk. So that was, what?
And that was Double or Nothing last year.
Maybe I do prefer WWE's way of just keeping it on Roman Reigns. Easier to track. But
So yeah,
on to match 10, and speaking of keeping it on, surely Tony Storm's going to retain here.
against
Makes
Willow.
no sense before London to take it off one of the UK's biggest attractions
Yeah,
in
I
like
expect it.
5 years ago.
Yeah, I expect Tony Storm to retain, and the only reason is because Willow Nightingale is the New Japan Strongweight Women's Champion as well. So she already has her own title commitments.
Yeah,
The only reason I expect Tony Storm to retain is because I'm expecting Jamie Hayter to return at All In and do the trilogy at Wembley.
yeah.
I
Well,
think I think we
that's
will
got
get the
to be the
trilogy.
big thing they're going for. I mean,
Has to be.
do not underestimate that Tony Storm is one of the biggest. Like, she is one of the main names. They need to make sure she is like pretty much one of the front names on any of the posters for All In as they start going up,
Yeah.
because she is, I mean, so recognizable to the UK independent scene, and
Mhm.
obviously all the stuff she did in NXT UK as well. It's all going to be, make sure she's there. Make sure
I
she's
agree.
at the front of that marketing. And as this heel, I think it's going to work. I think if they get the Jamie Hayter return right. Interesting question. One we can probably revisit when it comes to, All In itself. Would
Mhm.
you announce that Jamie Hayter's back? Would you build it, or would you have it as a sort of, I mean, Progress do unboxings, don't they? So you could have an unboxing style thing where Tony Storm just knows she has an opponent. Or do you think there's more value to actually building it up, have Jamie Hayter return a few weeks before um the show, and
I
continue to ramp it up? What do you think?
I personally would rather they have it where she does return, and I would rather they actually do a full blown return where she's like, okay, you beat me, I was injured, I wasn't 100%, but I still done I still done business and I lost, but now I'm back 100% and I'm here to get my title back. I'm expecting that. I'm expecting that. I'm hoping that is the case. However, if Jamie Hayter's a surprise opponent, you still get a good reaction anyway because Jamie Hayter is she's just so likable. Like she's likable as a wrestler. She's good in the mic. She works really well. It's still
I
going to lead.
fear that if they go the other way about it,
Uh huh.
so the match and its reaction has to be built on Tony Storm being a heel.
Yes.
And Tony Storm, basically, the crowd's reaction is going to be booing Tony Storm, and then whoever comes out to do it, they'll
Yep.
get the cheer, not because they're massively over. I mean, we love Jamie Hayter. I think she's one of the best women's performers on AEW. I think it's clear to see.
Same.
Um, I think she'd be upper mid card in WWE, probably.
I think she would.
Well, I mean, if Liv Morgan gets a title reign, maybe Jamie Hayter could be like Miss Money in the Bank. But anyway, um, I don't think she's so over that 90,000 people are gonna pop when her music hits,
Yeah.
on the grounds of who she is. It'll more just be, all right, she's shutting Tony Storm up. So maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, it goes round in my head. I think the surprise return thing, and again, it depends what else they have planned, because we know AEW love a surprise return, or
Mhm.
debut, or anything, and the lights going out. And I don't know how they're going to put the lights out at Wembley, but I'm sure they'll find a way. But yeah, I think they'd be better just going for the unboxing approach, and I think they'd be better not having this match at all, in number 9. But you know how I feel, because it's a new dawn, a new day, a new life, and I'm feeling good until Orange Cassidy comes onto the screen. But it's a fatal 4-way. You can write both. You can write Tony Storm down for both of us. I'm pretty certain.
I have done that. Yeah. I've also done Adam
Um,
Cole for both.
Reese, build this match up before I tear it down.
Frankly, this one stems from a tag match that was already that's already came around, but it's also based on one man wants to be a double champion, the other just wants to just keep working to his highest level. The other is the veteran that's an amazing champion that we already know, and then the other is very unpredictable. And the unpredictable is Orange Cassidy. He's unpredictable because you don't know what you're going to get. Daniel Garcia is trying to work to a level that he has for himself, but also he is embracing that sports entertainer side more than the pro wrestler. He's embracing more of the trying to work the crowd in matches, whereas you go Zack Sabre Jr., who is so finely tuned to work 15-minute TV matches that even though I think Orange Cassidy is the unpredictable one, I think Zack Sabre Jr. is, I don't think he's going to win, but I think when you put outstanding favourites, I think he is the outstanding favourite on this one personally. I think when you look at what he does in New Japan, he can work with so many opponents to a level that this year alone, he has been a lot of wrestlers' best matches in Japan over a 15-minute period.
He's
that
like
good.
Putty. He's like Putty. He can mix it up with anyone. He's very Pete Dunne-like in that way.
He's such a good promo. He's such a good promo as well, and he's cocky. I like that.
Again, as a heel, yeah,
he's a cocky little shit. I like that, but he backs it up. He backs up in the ring, so I look forward to that. I would say Zack Sabre Jr. is the favourite because the title match itself is... I think this match will go roughly 15, 20 minutes. I think it will be finely tuned to Zack Sabre's body of work that he does in Japan. So I'm expecting it to be 15, 20 minutes. But at the moment as well, I'm hoping this match doesn't go too long because as my guy Davian's in the live chat, and he's rightfully so, Orange Cassidy, I've said it for the past, 2-3 shows, his back is fucked. This guy has had an amazing schedule. I will give him that. Like, amazing for the work he has to put in, where he's changing things, where he's trying to at least... He is trying to work as a working champion, and I respect that a lot. He might not be everybody's cup of tea, no problem. I've got no issue with that. But the fact that he's doing all these matches to try and prove that he is working to the crowd as well, and he's working for his job, but he's not using it as an excuse, he's just doing it. I like that, but it's catching up to him. And I'm on the same mindset as Davian. If there's anybody in this match I'm having win this title, it's not Garcia, even though Garcia is not a bad choice. Shibata's already the Ring of Honor Pure Champion. He's not going to do 2 titles at once. I wouldn't mind Zack Sabre Jr. being a double champion. I wouldn't mind Sabre doing it. But I don't think Orange Cassidy's going to lose it in a 4-way. I still think he'll lose it one-on-one. I still think he will lose it in a one-on-one.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. I think Orange Cassidy is going to win.
I think this is the last title.
They're going to end up doing some kind of... And I know you say he doesn't do it anymore, right? But Zack Sabre Jr. is known for, all his, basically, limb manipulation.
He does that really well.
Manipulation. He's second best in the world at it. I still give the edge to Pete Dunne. Again, could be bias, but Pete Dunne's just more entertaining. And sorry, yeah.
I don't think Pete Dunne at the moment is entertaining. I think he's brilliant in the ring though, but I don't think he's more entertaining.
When he wins the Money in the Bank, you just wait. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
It's not that I don't think he's entertaining. I think he is. I just think the work that recently that Sabre's been doing, it's hard to not enjoy. But
yeah, he's operating on a different level, absolutely. But
yeah,
I can see them doing a spot here where, because obviously, I mean, what was it? It's like the octopus stretch, he calls it.
It is.
Might even just be called the octopus lock, but it's where, so both arms are like wrapped around his legs, and he sends them in different directions. I remember that sickening leg lock he did on Tanahashi, where he actually sent the calf the wrong way. It was gross, and just that. Yeah, I love it. I love the way that you can sort of wince at wrestling, even though we know the nature of it. It's nice to have those moments where you're like wincing for a good reason, and not because someone's just licked some thumbtacks or whatever. But I can see them doing a spot in this match where Orange Cassidy either has his hands trapped in his pockets and then Sabre puts the octopus lock in, and that's how Sabre wins, or Sabre goes for the octopus lock and Pockets uses his pockets to evade it.
Which actually would be clever. It would be it'd be
But
the only.
it would
It would be a clever way
also,
to do it.
therefore, completely invalidate him as a wrestler to me once and for all, and I wouldn't have to watch him again. So actually, I'd be all for that happening. I think Orange Cassidy's going to win here. I think Tony Khan loves Orange Cassidy to death. I don't understand why, but I don't see ZSJ becoming a long-term
champion.
fixture of AEW.
Me neither.
I see him being this sort of special attraction. That's why him having his own title in New Japan makes more sense to me, because he can come on AEW shows every 2-3 months and
My
just
guy.
defend it. Davian, I liked you. You were really
Davian's
good on the quiz, but
Davian is also a man that likes Orange Cassidy, because Davian.
yeah,
will-
I think he was even defending Orange Cassidy on Sunday, and we don't like that.
We do.
But yeah,
We do.
Orange Cassidy wins this match, and
I
the other
think.
two. I don't feel like the other two need to be here with all the
Yeah.
multi-man in that you've already got going on. There's no need for Shibata, no need for Garcia. This should just be a 1v1, but Orange Cassidy's going to retain.
I think this is Orange Cassidy's last. It just cut me out there. Sorry, I was saying there before it cut me out. I think this is his last successful pay-per-view title defense. Orange Cassidy. I think he will lose it all in, and I think it's because I think it will help him, because he really does need a break. He really needs a rest. He's worked.
And I need a break from him.
You haven't even watched him in ages.
If it can be permanent, that would be excellent. Anyway, we're on to match 8, where CM Punk is going to beat this guy. No, I know who he is. Don't worry.
To be fair, he might not. He might lose it on TV. That's true. He could lose it on TV. Yeah, I expect Punk to win this, and the reason I expect Punk to win this is because he'll face Samoa Joe in the semi-finals.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I'm thinking of it.
Yeah, I mean, wait. So Punk and Joe only goes to the semi-final.
Yeah, they'll face each other in the semis.
Okay. Because it'll be better as a final matchup.
They can't. They're in the same bracket, unfortunately.
No, but I mean, like, just so before you book the brackets, Tony, just It happens with these tournaments so often. You end up with the semi-final that should be the final.
Yeah, to be fair, considering what can happen on the other side, I wanted that to be the final match.
Remember, this happened with the Punk is gone, we need a new champion tournament.
Yep.
And we ended up with a Danielson Jericho semi-final.
That's
when
right.
That should have been the final.
It should have been. Yep, we spoke about that.
And then instead you got Moxley and Guevara, I think.
Yep.
And then we ended up with, of course, John Moxley winning the belt again.
Yep.
But it just, like Danielson and Jericho just felt like it should have been the final, and Punk and Joe just feels like it should be the final. Final probably Punk versus Starks before Punk turns. Yeah, I've been hearing about this.
Yeah,
Punk heel turn.
Ricky Starks will beat Powerhouse Hobbs, and I think he'll beat Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah,
Punk will just stick the knife in him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what
I like Ricky
heel
Starks
Punk
though.
means. It will certainly mean more than match 7. Because honestly, this can rot. I don't care. It's Blackpool Combat Club with additions
Yep.
against the Elite with somehow even worse additions. How do you make the Elite worse? You grab Eddie Kingston.
The only reason he's in this match, let's be real, the only reason he's in
Is
this
because
match
of
is
his
because
history with John Moxley.
no, it's because of this right here. The one I've highlighted.
Yeah, I feel
He
like the
hates
care.
Claudio.
Yeah, I feel like, again, if you're talking about things that should have been sorted well beforehand, it was last year's Blood and Guts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last year's Blood and Guts that Eddie Kingston and Castagnoli looked at each other funny.
Which led to the
And
title match.
again, we wait so long to
Yeah.
play these things off in their entirety. If you have a feud there, Tony, play the feud out. Finish it, for God's sake.
The only thing that doesn't help them though is he's going for the Ring of Honor World title. That's the one that he wants. But their pay-per-views obviously are scattered so far in between. Like obviously Death Before Dishonor is next. Like that is the next pay-per-view, but that's still a month away. Like that's literally the circum. Oh, you've done it now. Oh God,
All right, Davian.
Davian,
I don't think we want to watch wrestling in the same room together, my friend. No, I hate Eddie Kingston. I think
I
he's terrible.
cannot,
I
I
think his
cannot control
promos
my
are
thoughts.
worse than his wrestling, and I think his wrestling's pretty below average as well. Like about a 2 out of 10 wrestler and a 1 out of 10 promo, because you can't understand it at all. And he's speaking like a New Yorker. And the thing is, yeah, you can speak like a New Yorker, but you also have to be interesting. You also have to back it up when you get into the ring. And Eddie Kingston's whole thing for months was, I'm going to beat you. And then he didn't. I'm going to beat you. And then he didn't. I'm going to beat you. But it was Chris Jericho, so it didn't matter. So he basically didn't. Terrible wrestler, awful promo, and he was a favour hire again.
I'm
A
just
favour hire.
I'm just gonna sell it this for a while in case Davian sends another message because I'm not
Despicable.
involved. I'm not involved. I'm gonna sell it this. I'm just gonna sell it this for a little while.
Well, in the meantime, who do you think's going to win between the Blackpool Combat Club and the Elite?
Well, I've been trying to think about that one because when you look at obviously Double or Nothing, the Blackpool Combat Club got the win. We know that they got the win. Funnily enough, in Anarchy in the Arena, they got the win there. Then on Dynamite, the Elite got their first win against the Blackpool Combat Club, and obviously that's the first time with Moxley they've lost a tag match. So they are tied 1-1. I do think this has to end sometime soon. How they're going to do it, I think this will end finally at Blood and Guts, 6v6 Blood and Guts match. I think that's
No,
how
they're
I think
taking
it will,
this all the way to All Out.
and that's where I think it will end. I think it will end it all out in a Blood and Guts match. I don't think it will go to the actual pay-per-view. So I think it will end
Oh,
in a
wait,
Blood and Guts
Blood and
match.
Guts is now part of All Out, is it?
No, I just think they will book it at
Okay, I
All
was
Out.
like, Blood and Guts has been a TV special.
I think they'll book it. They'll either book it on the TV schedule special, or they'll book it All Out. I think they'll be
To
one
be
of the
fair,
two.
wouldn't Blood and Guts be coming up like in 2 weeks if they stay with like original scheduling plans?
Yes.
Like, because it is. It's like Forbidden Door happened last year, and then it was a week or 2 weeks later, and you have Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
So, but to be
I
fair, if
think.
they've not announced it, maybe they've changed their tune.
Let me just double check and see if they've actually done. I haven't seen anything yet for it, so.
Or maybe
This
this week Tony Khan's got an announcement.
I haven't seen any of that for a change. No, I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't mind if they do take it to either like if they stretched it all out and then they go for it, we're now going to add Omega back into it. So there's your sixth man. It'll either Osprey or somebody else. That's your sixth man for the Blackpool Combat Club. You just sort out once and for all. That's a good point as well. That's a good point. They won't book it all out purely for the two rings. Let's see.
Yeah, because that's why we don't do it. Whereas
there's
a good promotion like NXT,
that's not a promotion.
Is able to book they felt like their own promotion for a few years there. So I'm going to count it and continue.
It hasn't been good for a while. NXT.
No, but the first NXT's doing okay. You pipe down. But
I still watch it. I still watch it.
The first few War Games pay-per-views managed to get the two rings to actually play into it. I always come back to that Ciampa spot, but there were several examples. Because when you've got wrestlers who actually wrestle, they're able to work around their environment. They're able to bring the two rings into effect. And the thing is, the AEW have enough people that would be talented enough to do it. But if Tony Khan wants to fill a card with 19 matches, they can't all be capable of doing that. And that's fine. Because, you could still have a match with one ring, even though there's two rings there. But for some reason, they have an issue with shooting a match like that. So even though on their TV specials, there are other matches. So this two-ring thing for the pay-per-view, I don't get it. If NXT are able to do it, and AEW is supposed to be this superior, like next generation, whatever, fine, get it done. And speaking of get it done,
I think it's more or less this is what they've been asked to do, and that's what they should be.
I can't work out who wins this, but I'd probably say the Blackpool Combat Club.
It seems likely because I think they will have the Elite win the feud overall, which I think it makes sense.
Tell me the Elite have said they win. Well, that's good of them.
I think it will be just because obviously we know like they have that connection, obviously the EVPs and all that. I think they will win the feud overall. I don't think they should. For me personally, the Blackpool Combat Club should win this feud. And it'll really test the bar about the Elite with their contracts as well. See if they actually are interested in staying or if they're just going to try and bag more money elsewhere. If they're serious about this going somewhere else, I would have Blackpool Combat Club win this match, and that's what I'm going for. Davian saying I think Blackpool Combat Club win because Eddie is too toxic to be part of that team. Yeah, that's true. It's hard to trust. It's hard to trust that as well. It's unpredictable. But the Blackpool Combat Club are.
I think Eddie Kingston's in there to take the pin.
Could be. Elite beat. Aye, that's exactly what I've said. He agrees with me. Elite beat Blackpool Combat Club in blood and guts. Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole thing is to beat them at what they do best. Yeah. And then 4 matches we've discussed, but one that we've not. And I'm assuming the one is the pre-show one, yeah?
That is Athena versus Billy Starks.
Yeah. So that's why it's going up to 2. So I think we both said Combat Club there. Just sort of looking at, if I'm honest, AEW is it's exhausting even to talk about sometimes. Because we've got another thing to discuss here, which is Chris Jericho, Sam Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki versus Sting, Darby Allin, and Gold. But to be announced.
We think it could be him, but yeah. I'm just going to quickly sum it up. Sting, Darby Allin, and their partner win.
Chris Jericho's getting the loss here.
I'm going with Sting, Allin, and I'll put it as TBA because that's what it's like. It's only funny. That's what it is. Sting, Allin, and I'm the same as you, Davian. Even though it's a Sting match, I really don't give a fuck either.
No, but again, there's more gravitas to this if Chris Jericho just fights Sting. And hey, maybe they could do a double retirement match.
True, actually, because this is Sting's last year in wrestling.
Yeah, but it's not Chris Jericho's. He makes far too much money. So unfortunately, we're not going to get that.
True. MJF
Also,
versus Tanahashi.
MJF and Tanahashi, we've discussed it. This is where AEW have a big problem, especially when you do a show like this. We know Tanahashi's not winning their world title.
Nope. But I think he will be. What I think, even though he is the open weight 6-man champion, I think he will win a singles title very soon. But it will
Interesting
not
part
be
for
in
Davian there. Sammy's babyface turn is just not there. No, you're right. They cheer when he mentions that Ty's pregnant and all that, and he's looking forward to being dad. Like, yeah, and then he's like, and I want the world title, and they boo him.
Yeah, I think
which is a really weird place to be at. It's
it
almost
feels
like
wanted and
MJF's
forced.
face to that audience.
It feels wanted and feels unwanted at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
The next one though.
Remind me, you told me this.
Uh-huh.
Sanada asked for Jungle Boy.
Sanada opened up an open challenge on Dynamite. He popped up after a match. He had his own little segment. He looks like a boss, Sanada. But he came out and made an open challenge to any AEW star saying, "I want a match. Title's on the line. Who wants it?" And then Jungle Boy accepted it in a post-match interview with Renee Paquette, and he asked Hook to be at ringside with him.
Okay. What service does it do this match for Sanada to say that he's never heard of Jungle Boy?
Well, to be fair, he's done the exact same thing to him. Jungle Boy says, "I've never seen one of your matches."
Oh, yeah. So what service is that doing either person?
I think it's just doing the service. This is not about what it does for Sanada, because Sanada's eyes obviously is on G1. His eyes are fully on G1.
Yeah, so when you know who's going to win the match, build each other up at least.
I think
don't just go, more. Oh, I don't know who he is. I've never seen any of his matches. Like that's worse than what NJF and Adam Cole did.
It's true. No, I agree.
NJF and Adam Cole went, "You're a piece of crap." Oh yeah, well you're a piece of crap. Oh yeah, well you're on roid. So yeah, well you can't hold a relationship down. You know, like it's
true. Exactly.
Just playground insults, but that's better than "I don't know who you are," because then the fans go,
"Okay, then."
Shrug. You know, like there's nothing. The only thing
it does, you'll agree, Davian will agree, because me and Davian talk pretty much every single day. The one thing it does, it will feed to Jungle Boy failing to win a big one, because IWGP World Title is still a big world championship. It's still recognised. It's still prestigious.
More important than the AEW title.
It's prestigious still, regardless of the conversation. But also, it feeds more to if he cannot win the big one. What's the logical next step? He turns heel. Who does he turn heel against? His best bud. The way he said it as well, "My best friend with me at ringside." There's obviously going to be some sort of involvement there.
Why didn't he turn heel on Darby Allin? Because Darby Allin was the one that got pinned and therefore cost him the AEW World Title shot.
Good question.
Because turning heel on Darby Allin would have made more sense because he had the chance to hit him with the belt.
I know.
And he didn't.
I know.
And then it cost him.
Yeah, I think he wanted to try. I think purely in the sense that he had the opportunity, he wanted to win it honourably, and he failed. I think if he gets that opportunity again, he ain't making that mistake. But what he has made the mistake of is having someone at ringside who will not let him do it. I think if he tries to hit Sanada with the IWGP World Title, Hook will take that title out of his hands. I think he will. Not because he's denying his friend a chance to win, but it will feed more to Jungle Boy going.
Because he's not doing it the right way, and you're better than this, Seth. You know, these ideas come back to it.
Exactly.
And then, of course, we've got the dream match. We've discussed this. It's obviously going to be incredible. Got to be careful about how long they go, though. On a 7-match card, you could give this 45 minutes and let it exist.
Mm-hmm.
On a 10-match card, they're still going to do that, but I'm not sure it's going to be quite so welcomed. It's still going to be an unbelievable match. Like, we know this is going to be a match of the year contender.
I think it'll be match of the night as well. I think Omega versus Ospreay has got the one that's got the most riding on it. 'Cause obviously, it's in Canada and it's a title rematch. But Danielson versus Okada is literally the best American wrestler, because he is, and the best from Japan. Like
He was a few years ago.
he still is. He still is the best American wrestler. There is no
I
one from
don't think
America.
so.
There's no one from America that's better than him.
There is.
Go on then.
I
Who?
can assure you there is.
Who?
AJ Styles.
Nope. And
Oh, he
no,
is. AJ
no.
Styles. AJ Styles is a better wrestler now than Bryan Danielson with his head knock and his I'll do headbutts and I'll bleed every match and I'm part of the combat club. AJ Styles runs rings around this version of Bryan
I love it.
Danielson, sorry.
I
I won't
love
even
it.
stain the
I love
Daniel
Styles.
Bryan persona with this because Daniel Bryan versus Okada would be a better match because WWE would be, he would be ingrained in the idea that, okay, I can't just do everything. I'm not just invincible. That to me is where this match could fall down if Danielson forgets what he's doing.
I don't think he will.
Well, you say that. Danielson and Suzuki was bad.
True, but I think when you look at it as well, this is no disservice to Suzuki, but when you look at who's in a better condition, who's in better match shape, who's actually in a better physical condition.
Yeah,
Okada,
so what? Are we saying
Okada
that the
clears.
younger Okada's going to have to call this match and keep Danielson out of the bad habits he's picked up as a result of being John Moxley's caddy?
Well, to be fair, Danielson did carry the entire Iron Man match as well at Revolution. He carried that himself. He called everything. Apart from the double pinfall where he got disqualified, which was absolutely genius by MJF.
Pretty certain I checked out the show because it was too long with too much on it. So
Yeah.
maybe that, well, that obviously doesn't help, but maybe I'm doing a disservice to. It's just Danielson that I've seen on TV. He's been nothing like
his TV
what he
matches
could
have been
be.
better. His
So
TV matches have been better.
I hope that Okada can pull him out of this rut and give him an actual good match.
This will be the best match of the night.
Club.
This match will be the best match of the night.
If
I'm
Danielson
not even.
wrestles.
There's no ifs. There's no ifs.
If Danielson wrestles, if they stand and chop for 5 minutes, Reece, it's not going to be match of the night.
Everybody says that about a flaming Gunter match. I mean, goodness
No,
sake.
because Gunther uses the chop in isolation. It's 2 or 3. He doesn't. On WWE TV, he's not doing 47 in a row, is he? He's not. He doesn't just stand there like, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. Hey, now you hit me 47 times, and then it'll be my turn again. Like, no, Gunther's strike exchanges are more believable in the context of wrestling.
Have you seen the size of him? Of course they're believable.
Yeah, so he hits 2 or 3, and that's it. The guy's down. He's toast.
He hits like 10,
and that's better than the way Danielson does it, where it's just like, okay, this is the part of the match where we just chop each other. It's so indie. It's so indie. And maybe that's why people love it. I don't.
It will go back and forth for a reason, because you want it to be. You want them to go at each other like full pelt. Yeah. You want them to be the sense where they're beating each other.
Yeah, I'm looking to switch to WWE on the hour, so let's quickly go through Omega and Ospreay.
Who did you have for Sanada, by the way? Because you didn't tell me. You went Sanada.
Sanada's obviously winning. You would think that Okada's going to win.
Normally, I would never bet against Okada, but I bet against him once this year, and I was right. I bet against him at Sakura Genesis when he lost to Sanada. I bet against him, and that's the only time this year I bet against him when he lost.
Yeah, I think a win does more for Okada here.
I think he has to. Danielson doesn't need to win. He is an amazing wrestler, but he doesn't need to win. Okada very rarely even competes in the US anyway, but a
Yeah,
win
and the
for him.
last time he was in the US, he was part of a four-way match that he didn't win. Or at least
Yeah,
last time he was on AEW in the US. I don't know what he's done for Strong, probably some stuff. Anyway, we're at the hour, so very quickly, Kenny Omega, the best professional wrestler in the world. Oh, rubbish. Rubbish. It's Shane McMahon, we all know it. He's against Will Ospreay.
yeah, agreed.
I think Will Ospreay's got to win here.
Oh, he has to. In order for it to get to like the final like trilogy that we're expecting, he has to.
Yeah,
But he does
100%.
but he does it with Don Callis in his corner. Even though he's been taking the piss out of Canada.
Maybe.
Even though he's been ripping the piss out of Canada and it's been absolutely golden.
Well,
I
maybe
still
Don
expect
Callis is
him
going to
to
turn on Canada, you know?
would surprise me. But yeah, I really hope that Ospreay regains the title because he is New Japan. He is New Japan. Omega isn't New
He
Japan
is,
anymore.
and he goes to bat for that company so often, and just he absolutely should take this title back.
Omega isn't New Japan anymore.
Yeah,
He,
take it off a guy who isn't there. You know, go and get New Japan's title back. And speaking of getting the titles back, well, Money in the Bank is a great opportunity for someone, some nameless, faceless hero at this point, someone to rescue us from this Roman Reigns of terror, or just cash it in on Seth Rollins. But it's the
which is
Money in the
that's
Bank.
already been told. It's already been confirmed that it will be cashed in on the world title, not the universal title.
That's been confirmed, has it?
It's been confirmed by several sources, yeah, unfortunately.
So it will be a cash in on Seth or Finn or whoever. But Roman Reigns won't fall victim to this, unfortunately. That is a shame. Anyway, in this one, I think we've got to go top to bottom because I don't see them not main eventing with Bloodline Civil War. World title or not, they are not
Yeah, they're putting
Bloodline Civil War in the middle of this card.
Yeah, and it's not going to be the opener either. It'll completely drain everything away from a world title match as well. So, no, I agree. That will main event. I expect Rollins to be either the opener or Rollins will be the pre-main event.
I think they'll open with the world title match.
I would honestly be okay with that.
Because I think what they'll want to do is open with the world title match, then the women's Money in the Bank, then Cody and Dom, then the men's Money in the Bank, then Bloodline Civil War. But then do you put the Money in the Bank? That's what I mean. It's a small card, but it is not an empty card. You know, we said that Backlash felt a little bit empty. The Saudi show especially felt a little bit empty. This doesn't feel empty.
I have a problem with this card, to be fair.
Okay, well, it's time to switch. You know, I'll turn face and you'll turn heel. What is your your problem when it comes to this card?
I'm not going to turn babyface. I'm not going to turn heel. I'm just going to step. I have a
You're going to
problem.
remain down the middle, tweener as you are. No, I'll turn face. I've been enjoying WWE.
My problem is Triple H obviously is no longer booking. It's Vince McMahon. My problem is purely one. You have a women's champion that's an NPC, non-playable character. That's Rhea Ripley. Her title reign is practically useless to me now. I've got no interest in her title reign any longer because she's not even doing anything. She's just wrestling men. Secondly, Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. on SmackDown. I have to sit and watch a Charlotte Flair match on SmackDown. I have to sit through that on Friday night. I'm gonna have to take up something I don't do, and that's alcohol, to get through it. I would have just made that match for fucking Saturday. I would have had Flair versus Asuka and throw in Bianca for a rematch and have a triple threat at Money in the Bank, and Asuka wins and decisively moves on.
Remember, they've sold tickets at a premium to the SmackDown, and it suddenly makes a lot more sense why Charlotte and Asuka's on there.
No, I know. I'm just saying that I would have preferred that, but the fact that it's 5 matches is okay. Which means one or two of these matches are going to get more time. I am
still
hoping
capable to add a 6th.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they add, even though I think he's a bit of a dork, I would add Gunther versus Riddle for the IC title.
Yeah, but again, maybe that'll be SmackDown. Maybe they build it on Raw. But then why would they fight on SmackDown? I don't know. Because they're there, but they won't be there because obviously the same night as SmackDown, the Raw guys are in Newcastle
and Sheffield as well. They're in Newcastle and Sheffield throughout the day on tours. You're right. That's what I would still prefer. I would still like to see that match at Money in the Bank.
It feels like if anything, this card is missing. It's just a wrestling match, like just one more match that's just there. And to be fair, that's because they've taken 7 of the guys that you would go, yep, I'd give him a pay-per-view match, and put them all in the Money in the Bank. So that's actually a very nice thing to talk about, and we're going to start there.
Credit to us though, because we did before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, even a couple of weeks ago, and the matches was announced. We called this. We called a lot of these participants, especially Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos.
We called a certain man appearing.
Yeah, Logan Paul.
We thought it would be to take someone out the match, but no, he's just been added in. Mm-hmm. So this Money in the Bank field was already 8 out of 10. The one thing that you think is a little bit dull, perhaps, is just Damian Priest in this match compared to all the other super indie performers you've got.
But it's no longer the case.
But Logan Paul's here now. And that makes this one of the most exciting Money in the Bank fields that I can remember.
He is currently, I believe, according to betting, he is currently tied at 10-1 with LA Knight to win this match.
I think it was 10-11.
Was it 10-11? Sorry, 10-11.
Yeah, and then I think Damian Priest is 4-1 behind them, but it's LA Knight and Logan Paul who are the bookies' favourites, but they can't be split. So 10-11 odds for Logan Paul and 10-11 odds for LA Knight, and then 4-1 for Priest, and I didn't check the rest.
According to Creative, LA Knight was, and we've known this for quite some time because we've spoken about this for a while, LA Knight is the outstanding favourite to win it. But in recent conversations, this has come out from the likes of Give Me Sport, Fightful and all that, Triple H isn't actually sure. He's not sure.
No, I think Triple H is seriously considering Butch.
I think him or Priest have got more of a chance of winning than LA Knight. But none of them, in respect to them, none of them are the one that I would give the briefcase to. I think
would you give it to Logan Paul?
Absolutely not. I don't think he needs it. He's already been in the main event quicker than all of them. Like, he's already been there. He could walk into a main event on Raw, and then that's it. He's in the main event for another premium live event.
Yeah. I mean, my main problem with the Logan Paul thing is that, well, he's part-timer.
Exactly.
Like, it's awesome that you're here. It's fantastic.
But
you're not going to win this match, are you? Like, if you are, you're now a full-time performer.
But
and if the whole thing is he's going to cash in on Seth, that's great. But then Logan Paul has to be free for his title reign. He has to be available. Because we can't have Roman Reigns not showing up. And especially after what Triple H told us about the World Heavyweight Champion, we can't then have Logan Paul not turn up and there'll be no World Champion. We'll be back to Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar.
I agree. I do agree with that. Like, he would be a great winner purely because it's unpredictable. But I wouldn't have him winning this match because he's part-time. I'm going to say left field, and I'm going to say the guy who I had as when we done the world title announcement show, the one where we done the categories. I said obviously, I said Rollins or AJ Styles would be my main contender, who would be my dark horse. People might disagree with this one. I would give the Money in the Bank to Nakamura.
I can see where you're coming from. It would absolutely not be a bad shout. And to be fair, there's not a bad shout in this field.
The only one that I would never give Money in the Bank to is Ricochet. I would never give it to him. I think he's good. I think he's a good worker, but his personality is like his head.
Okay.
It's shaved over. It's boring.
Okay.
He doesn't have personality.
What if, out of this, he wins? He ends up, imagine it was him and Santos at the top of the ladder.
I'd like that.
Ricochet wins.
And
then Santos Escobar was obviously King Cuerno.
Yes.
Ricochet was Prince Puma.
Keep going.
We could maybe have Ricochet involved in the LWO. What if Prince Puma and King Cuerno ousted Rey Mysterio?
Oh, turn them heel.
From the LWO. The LWO have to be healed. They're the LWO.
But Ricochet's a heel. He hasn't been heel for some time. He hasn't been heel for a very long time.
But Prince Puma would be heelish.
Yeah. Not a bad shout. And we have said...
I feel like there's history there, and I feel like we're going to get a few wink, wink, nudge, nudge lines on commentary about Ricochet and Escobar having history.
I mean, they've already done the notion of Rhea Ripley's Instagram story, which is absolutely disgusting. We already know that Corey Graves is the worst commentator of all time. He at least alluded to that.
Wow.
So we know that they'll do it. I've said it consistently, and Davian will back me up on this. I think he's worse than Kevin Patrick. He is the worst commentator of all time.
I like Kevin Patrick. I've got more of a problem with Tony Schiavone giving away the results of Raw in the 90s, and then
that was Bischoff telling him to be fair. That was Bischoff, to be fair, telling him to do that.
Yeah, but turning up to commentate AEW and just having an absolute crack with his friends, and Excalibur, who's barely legible, Taz, who goes to sleep during the matches, and Jim Ross, who shouldn't be doing this anymore. I think there's far worse than Corey Graves.
No, I generally think Corey Graves is the worst, and my opinion will never
But anyway,
change.
So are you actually saying Nakamura? Because my prediction's LA Knight.
My prediction is LA Knight, but it just seems too obvious. But we know that Seth Rollins was the obvious choice for the world title.
My dark horse is Butch, because I think UK Big Pop.
I think
it could be the end of Butch and the start of Pete Dunne again. The revival of Pete Dunne.
I think Butch would be an understandable choice to be the dark horse, but I think the real dark horse is Santos Escobar, and none of us would disagree on that because we both have him listed as a future world champion. He has that. He has that feel.
Yeah, maybe just not yet for Escobar. Maybe just not yet. Maybe they're waiting to see, with all this LWO business, maybe they're waiting to see what Dragon Lee's all about. You know, there's so many things they can do with the LWO. I think it's really exciting, and I think we're just waiting for them to turn heel.
I agree. I think it will be between the winners. I think it'll be between Priest or LA Knight, but I would give it to Nakamura because Nakamura's got more of the experience than all of them. He deserves a world title run, in my opinion. I would have.
Oh, absolutely. It's such an injustice that we had Jinder bleeding Mahal.
Yep. And I would run it back.
Nakamura run.
I would run it back as well. Somehow I would have Nakamura and Styles come across each other one last time. Let them have one last match as for the world title. But Nakamura gets the win. He gets a decisive win over Styles, who I still think will be a world champion as well before he retires as well. But my heart says Nakamura. My head says it's between Priest and LA Knight. It seems obvious because obviously Balor and Rollins, there's an involvement there. There's a potential hints of jealousy because obviously JD McTwat is now involved with the Judgment Day. Yeah, I don't like him either, but I think it will be LA Knight. I think it seems to be, you go predictable, but just like what you did with Seth Rollins, there is nothing wrong with going with predictable because the fans actually like it. So I am going LA Knight.
Yeah, so all of that to say that we've both gone. Elena, I think part-time Money in the Bank make it more exciting to see Money in the Bank less. Yeah, the problem is if you've got a part-time Money in the Bank, he would have to hold it for a while, and also if he's eventually going to win his cash in, it couldn't be a long reign
And also,
because he's going to be a part-timer. It doesn't work.
And also, you would have to pick the moment to cash in very carefully. And I think the only place it would generally have some sort of shock if he'd done it at Survivor Series. Because he's part-time and he isn't brand to brand.
Well,
and if they, it just feels like they could do it. Like, there's rumors apparently they're going to do Rollins versus Reigns in a champion versus champion match.
So Logan Paul to keep the briefcase and cash in on the go home before WrestleMania and win the world title.
And then lose it at WrestleMania as well.
Well, the whole point would be he's the main event, and he's now main eventing WrestleMania as the champion. That would be very Logan Paul. But yeah, they'd have to be careful about how they do it if it's part-timer. And
it would be difficult.
The damage to LA Knight would be unbelievable. That's another thing that I can't see past. It's if you don't give this to LA Knight, he is damaged almost beyond repair because the fans will give up on him.
I think the one thing that will help him as well, and WWE are not stupid, is Cena did post on his social media accounts as well, but LA Knight, he posted a picture of him and he was like basically acknowledging Priest. Sorry, not acknowledging Priest, he was acknowledging LA Knight, sorry. He was basically like saying how good he is. And Cena's also in London as well, and there's rumours he could be either SmackDown or Money in the Bank. You could see him have something like that. And it could
fun.
And it could set up Paul versus Cena at SummerSlam.
Could you maybe get Cena versus Theory again?
I hope not, because that is the worst Cena match I've ever saw.
Well, I know you loved it so much. Anyway, something that I'm hoping that I'll love.
Trish Stratus winning Money in the Bank? Absolutely.
No. Oh, please no.
I would give it to her because I said it, 2 months ago, that out of this entire list, she's the only one that's shown up the entire women's roster.
I have top advice for Trish. Retire. Anyway, so Zelina, Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark, Bayley, Io Sky, and Trish. I think Io Sky's going to win this one.
I don't.
Perhaps I did originally. Turning on Bayley in the process. I just can't work out if Bayley's still going to be heel or if Io's going to be the heel. I think Io wins.
Well, Vince did scrap the match last night. Vince was running SmackDown last night, and he did change the Shotzi versus Bayley match. He scrapped it from the show altogether. He scrapped the Fatal 4-Way that LA Knight was supposed to be in. That became the singles match. I was thinking for a while. I had to Dakota Kai, but then obviously she got injured. But she's actually close to full recovery, which I'm happy. She'll be up and going soon, which is great. I don't expect her to wrestle for some time, but she is at least out of the cast. She is training again, which I'm happy about. I think Io Sky makes sense to be a favourite, but Bayley's still in the match. I don't think Io Sky is going to win this unless someone takes Bayley out. And I do expect Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark to take the piss out of Becky Lynch. I think and the worst thing about it as well is Zelina Vega's still in this match. I think it'll come down to right at the end. It'll be between Vega and Io Sky.
I do think it will. Vega's a former Queen of the Ring, I'll have you know.
Yeah, she was terrible.
But to be fair, there hasn't been another tournament, so she should still be. Does it expire?
Yeah, it's like a 1-year thing. It's like Money in the Bank.
But it's still because until there's another That doesn't make sense.
Xavier Woods is a king without a crown, but I suppose then again we've
Well,
seen that
yeah,
plenty of
but
times
the
in
whole
Game of
point,
Thrones.
that was when Roman Reigns was just, you can't have any fun. You can't have any fun at all because I'm here and I'm
Yeah,
boring.
that's true. This one is an
Which is
interesting
what
one
he
to predict.
was like.
I don't want it to be
So
two people. I don't want it to be two people. I don't want Bailey to win it for a second time. I've got nothing against Bailey, but she doesn't need the title or a title at the moment, and Becky Lynch doesn't need it either. Give it to
okay, your two people are very different. You can probably tell what two people I'm not
the only reason.
fond of.
The only reason I don't think Trish Stratus is going to win it, but the reason that Trish Stratus could actually win it is because she's a heat magnet. And she is.
That's great. She also needs to go home.
She doesn't when she's exploiting the shite that she had to work with.
And Zoe Stark, no, too
She's
green.
too
No.
soon. Just like Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton did okay. You know,
No,
that's
Shawn
NXT. You're allowed to be a bit green in NXT.
Not as its champion.
Someone
Not in my
should
opinion.
send Zoe Stark back there. But nah.
If it is Io Sky, I've got nothing. I've got no issue with that. But it just seems like there's no way that Bailey will allow Io Sky to win this.
Well, that's the whole point. Maybe Bailey's like, okay, and then you help me win, and that's because what's weird is we could have that. There's two possible circumstances where that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because Trish and Zoe could turn in that way on each other.
True.
And so could Bailey and Io Sky. Which then makes me wonder, is Becky Lynch just going to win?
I would like to see her do that fake rock bottom on both Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark through the announce table. I mean, she clearly wants to be The Rock anyway, so if she wants to be The Rock properly, she's got to put two people through the announce table at the same time.
No, she's the women's division Cena. She's got to win, lol. No, that's Charlotte. We know that's Charlotte.
That's
So, yes, you could put me down for Io Sky. You're saying who? Who do you actually think's going to win?
Well, I still hope Io Sky wins a title. It just seems logical to go with her, but I will put it down, but I've just got no confidence in this match because there's nothing in here that makes. Yeah, but this one doesn't grip my attention. It's not because I don't like women's wrestling. I like women's wrestling. This one doesn't grip me enough because it doesn't have any other outstanding like mentions. Like I would have swapped out Zelina Vega and I would have stuck in Shayna Baszler. At least put something who's just going to be a wrecking machine.
She's a women's tag champ now. She can't be pulling that double duty.
She's not defending the title. So
that, I mean, she's now an undisputed women's tag champ because
true.
We're not allowed any nice things. We're not allowed a witch duo to keep bleeding winning.
Or even put Raquel Rodriguez in this match as a powerhouse. Like this match is lacking a powerhouse.
Upon remembering that Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey beat Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, I actually just made myself really angry. Because again, it's like, okay, so these two are here and they're not going to put anyone over, and it's rubbish.
They will put them over eventually. They're just trying to have a long reigning champion. I actually quite like that that double team poison Rana move that did. I quite like that, to be fair.
I just hate them. I just hate them for the wrong reasons. Go away. You don't care about this. You don't want to do this.
Baszler does actively care. She's come out like saying like she does have ideas for the title she wants to do. She wants to take it to all three divisions, and she wants to actually give the matches meaningful time. I'm all for that. Ronda Rousey, on the other hand, I don't think she gives a fuck.
Ronda Rousey just wants to play with her friends, having fake fights. We heard this.
But Shayna is still
waste of time.
But there is no one on that women's roster generally that works a match better than Shayna.
And there's no one on the men's roster, I think, right now in the world who's working better matches cutting better promos than Cody Rhodes. And this was a surprise.
I hope he
You
loses.
know, a feud that sparked out of nowhere. It seems to be a one and done.
Yep.
Cody
And that's
Rhodes
why.
versus Dominic Mysterio.
Yep, he has to lose.
Cody has to lose.
Yep. Yep.
While getting ready to fight Brock Lesnar for the third time.
Yep. He needs to be humbled, Cody
You're,
Rhodes.
you're telling me Cody Rhodes has
Yep.
to lose to Dominic Mysterio?
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
I disagree.
I actually think, and I'm going to say this comfortably, I like Cody Rhodes, but I just think right now Dominic Mysterio is actually more entertaining to watch than Cody. I think he's far more entertaining. I actually think the reason.
Oh my! Right.
I said it.
So you'll complain on the one hand that all Rhea Ripley's doing is fighting men,
Mm-hmm.
but the reason that the only thing Rhea Ripley does right now is fight men is more entertaining than Cody Rhodes.
I never said Rhea Ripley. I said Dominic Mysterio.
No, but the reason that Dominic Mysterio is in any way relevant, is because of Rhea Ripley.
Very true. Not arguing that.
So if Rhea Ripley fighting the men, mixing it up with the men is something you can't stand, you shouldn't want Dominic Mysterio to win, because the only way Dominic Mysterio is beating Cody is via Rhea Ripley. And then we're building to Cody and Rhea, which is more of an issue.
And Rhea would beat him anyway. I'm just saying it from perspective that Cody Rhodes winning this one doesn't do him any
It's
favor.
exactly what he has to do, because Dominic's like 24 or whatever. Does not need to beat Cody Rhodes right now.
There's nothing at stake for Cody to win this.
If Dominic wins, it better be because Brock Lesnar's shown up. And I'm saying that.
Yeah, because I expect that for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I don't think Brock will be in
So why would you derail Cody by losing to Dominic unless
because he's not going to get anything
there
anyway. He's not getting rewarded for after this match anyway. He's not going to be immediately in a world title picture anyway, Cody Rhodes. Not for some time.
No, but I still think they've got it noted down for WrestleMania 40.
Oh yeah, they have. They have.
Finish the story. That'll be it. So yeah, Cody has to be hot. That's why they put him with Brock.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, even I'm admitting that, and I loathe the man.
I know. The only reason I have Dominic winning this, categorically, the only reason I'm having him winning this is because it's unpredictable and it throws a spanner in the works. Cody, we know his route, we know where he's going, and that's great. We do not categorically know where Dominic is going. Like, we just know that he's still involved.
Doesn't have to go anywhere, because without Rhea Ripley, he'd be a lower mid-carder.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I still think now, if he were to, I don't expect him to, but if he did leave Rhea Ripley now, he would still be fine. He would be fine. He would be great, but he'd be fine. But Cody is still going to walk into those high-profile feuds, the ones that are going to benefit his character that he's doing the whole hard times shtick. I just don't think necessarily we need Cody to win this one. This is like the only match that he actually has that he doesn't actually need to win. He doesn't need it. I don't think he needs to win this one at all. And
no, but Dominic doesn't either.
Frankly, as well, you could just have this one done in the right way. You could just have this one where the ref decides, fuck the two of yous, and I'm just going to count you both out at fast count. I'd be okay with that as well.
But then they'd have to have a rematch.
Either way, categorically, I do not care about this one. I don't care. I didn't want it
I
to begin
care
with.
about it in the sense that it's Cody wrestling, but we've got to keep the best bit about Dom is Rhea. Thank you, Davian. See, we can see eye to eye on some things, even if you're an Orange Cassidy and Eddie Kingston fan. But
None of us disagree about Rhea being the best thing about Dom, though. Nobody's
well,
disagreeing on that
no,
one.
but what you said, and we will move on. What you said is you don't like that Rhea Ripley's mixed it up with the men, but you want Dominic Mysterio to beat the second. No, I'd probably still say he is the most over guy in the company. And the only way Dominic Mysterio is going to do that without Brock Lesnar is if Rhea Ripley does it. And then you're creating more of an issue because then they'll book Cody and Rhea for SummerSlam.
Either way, this match doesn't matter who Cody was wrestling anyway. I still find some of his promos absolutely boring and dull.
Oh, come on,
I told you 2 weeks ago. I've got nothing against them. I'm just sick of the repetitive promos. You can have your sway about Orange Cassidy and all that, and I'm completely fine with that. But when I'm hearing the guy going, "What do you want to talk about?" That's what I want you to talk about. Just shut your mouth, Cody Rhodes. Once in a while, just shut your mouth, and you're actually better. You're actually when you don't talk, I'm okay with that.
But you got to keep talking because the guy he's feuding with doesn't show up to work.
He's feuding with who do you want to talk about? That's his entire promo. It's repetitive bollocks. Change up a bit.
It has to be. He has to have a catchphrase.
He doesn't need a catchphrase.
They all do. They all do. That's why the man we're going to talk about next, Seth freaking Rollins, is still Seth freaking Rollins. But he's going up against Finn Balor. This is a world title match. As much as I would love to see the heel win here so I could boo him properly. Sorry, no, hang on. My notes are mixed up. As much as I'd love to see the face win here so that Seth would lose his title, I do think the heel is sadly going to retain. And Seth Rollins is going to remain the World Heavyweight Champion.
So you've just done a word spin on it where like he is the heel, but he's also the face. Like Seth
Rollins is definitely the heel, 100%.
Not in this match. Not anymore. Definitely not anymore.
You can run attack angles on NXT all you like, but if I was Finn Balor, I'd do the exact bleeding same thing.
Raw, NXT, nah, he ain't. He is not babyface Finn Balor. Not a chance. Not a fuck.
Seth's not exactly the babyface you'd want to cheer, is he?
I do, because I've got logic on that one. Finn Balor's not going to win this. He doesn't need to.
Of course, yeah. I mean, they're not. It would be amazing. It would be amazing if Finn Balor was to win, because then there'd be proper acknowledgement of like, hey. You should have had this title reign. You didn't. So
the only way I would give him the titles if he loses it on the same night.
Well, there is capability for that.
No, I mean I would. I would if I was booking this match and the decision was Balor's going over, I would have Damian Priest clock him in the back of the head with a briefcase and just pin him and take the title off him. And kick him out of Judgment Day.
Well, I mean, it would be something that could happen. No, I've got to predict Seth here. I'm not particularly thrilled about it. I think the match is going to be really good.
Yeah, 18-20 minutes, just good match. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd really like Finn to win because this Seth Rollins is awful. I just don't like him at all.
I don't know what they intend to do, but you cannot have him being comical and jokerish when you've been attacked 2 shows in a row. You just can't. It doesn't make any sense.
He'll come out. He'll be laughing. He'll have a promo before the match where he'll be laughing and. I'm gonna keep my belt. That's what he'd do.
With that.
No,
Stop. I just love that it winds people up so much, but yet they're willing to listen to Cody Rhodes going, "What do you want to talk about?"
Cody Rhodes speaks genuine. Bar the catchphrase, I can believe what Cody Rhodes is actually saying, and the catchphrase I can look past. It's like how I was able to believe in everything that John Cena said, other than the hustle, loyalty, respect thing, or the you can't see me thing, because those were catchphrases, and he had to sell merch. That's fine. He can do that. The point is, I don't believe a single thing Seth Rollins says, because he's disingenuous.
It's the whole point.
No, it's not. Not of a babyface.
The whole point is what he's all about. He's never once been. Wait, this entire character has never once been serious. I expect it to be serious soon. I expect it to end. How they do, I've got no idea. But they have to.
Under the
When you
wings
look,
of a lorry, and then he can come back 6 months later as Seth Rollins again.
I find there has to be something that really just twists it. But and I will tell you who I do blame for it continuing this long. I blame Triple H. I blame that triple vein, big nose buffoon.
Wow.
I blame him.
Wow. There's no need to get so personal about him. Anyway, so
I
we've
don't
had.
blame him for. I don't blame him for the title on Rollins. I'm happy with that, but I blame him for keeping this gimmick for so long when they could have went, okay, now's time for a change. They
Well,
could have
maybe
done
Vince was stopping him doing it.
that. Maybe he has been making a lot of changes recently, so who knows?
Character came about because of Vince. I guarantee you, Vince gets a pop out of it.
Probably.
Look at this idiot.
Mm-hmm.
He's dressed silly. Laugh at him and then cheer him. See, because my face isn't on screen, you would think I found a Vince interview and just played it there. Anyway, on to our. Well, actually, no, you haven't said. I mean, I'm assuming you're saying Seth wins.
Easiest win of the night. The easiest decision. The easiest decision.
I mean, I would probably say Cody, but maybe with a Brock spanner. No, probably Seth is the easiest call to make. Not that I'm thrilled about it. And the main event. It's come to this. Bloodline Civil War. If you don't watch how you're walking, watch where you're walking and how you're talking, we're going to end up in our own civil war. Reese. But anyway, we've got Bloodline Civil War. The second most anticipated team breakup of the year. You just wait till I clock you in the back with a weekly steel chair. You will see. You will see. Anyway, it is the Usos versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Bloodline Civil War.
Yep. And I genuinely hope I do not fall asleep at ringside.
Wow. You can't be excited for this?
First of all, the fact that they're using a Marvel reference is embarrassing.
This has been. Marvel would have been proud to write this.
What I'm saying is, I laugh at people who call this cinema because it's not.
I know, because you laughed at me last week for it, but it is.
It's not cinema. It's good, but it's not cinema. I think people forget there's been so many failures in this entire bloody storyline than has been success as well.
Yeah, but this bit's been really good.
Oh, this bit is good. This bit's good. I just refuse to call it cinema. But no, I think this will be good. In terms of who wins though, I really don't know. I honestly don't know. And the reason I don't know is because they keep mixing it up. Like the way they done it last night, like Solo taking out Rich Holland, good. Because Rich Holland sucks anyway. He's on the level of Madcap Moss. So
oh, come on, he's okay. You've got so many grudges against people who really don't deserve them.
I've got grudges against people that just aren't good. But I
you
like
go
what they
to
did.
bat for Orange Cassidy and Eddie Kingston. Okay.
Kingston is at times okay. Orange Cassidy clears them all. Like
Oh my God.
he just is.
Oh my God.
Like he would beat all the Brawling Brutes single-handedly.
Right.
But when it comes to this one, I like the way they've done it, but I also like the fact that the Usos at the end of SmackDown last night did steal the attention of Solo as well. Second of all, as well, that botch hip attack into the barricade was embarrassing. Clear botch, where he clearly misses him and then decides to call it as a ref stoppage. Again, if you're going to do it, knock the fucker out. At least make it look believable. That didn't. You would
So who won?
expect. He lost at Clash of the He lost at the Champions event. He didn't take the pin, but he lost, and that was Roman.
Yep.
I would be very surprised if they made him lose 2 in a row.
Yeah, that's where my head goes. I've got Roman and Solo here. Because I
Yeah.
think they've got to, in this match, continue telling the story that, Solo's maybe not quite so trusting of him, but this time that Roman Reigns can still win anyway.
Yeah. I think this is an example where Roman has to really go out and do it all on his own.
Yeah, like if not all on his own, then certainly he's got to carry it. He's got to obviously get the pin. And it's got to be putting Jimmy and Jay in their place. I mean, okay, not putting them back in the bloodline, please no. But just putting them in their place. Like Roman does actually, it feels weird to be saying this about Roman Reigns. He does need to get his revenge here.
Yeah, he does actually.
So yeah, I would say that Roman and Solo to win there, and that has been slightly longer than planned, but we've got through 2 massive pay-per-views.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, 1 massive pay-per-view and 1 pay-per-view that's worth caring about. But no, I'm sure Forbidden Door will be okay. It'll be
I think it'll be
fine.
good. I think it'll be good. I think it will be good.
Yeah, there's certainly stuff there to enjoy. I'm more excited for Money in the Bank. But that would be me, the WWE shill that I am. Reece, do you wanna send us home?
Yeah, definitely. Just for anyone that is watching Collision tonight, obviously, Swerve versus Tanahashi will be a good one. Andrade versus Brody King will be good, and we'll find out who the partner is. I'm looking forward to the 8-man tag that involves Punk as well. That'll be good. But apart from that, good show. Not much else to say except just keep an eye out. Well, just keep an eye out over the shows, but we might do something on the Saturday. Obviously, I will be in London, so it'll probably just be something like maybe short. We don't know, but either way, be a good laugh. We'll see what we do. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
It's my life in the box in front of me. Take it off in my arms, it's the soul of me. You walk by, ask to see me lay face down.
We're gonna come blows, you and I.